If you are listening to this alone, there is something you should know. The most dangerous people don't chase victims. They wait, they listen, and sometimes they tell stories like this one. Elias Moore never raised his voice, never slammed doors, never lost control. And that was exactly the problem, because people who never lose control are usually hiding it. Elias worked in silence, maintenance night shifts, forgotten hallways, places where cameras blinked but never watched him. He learned quickly that people trust the ones who fix things, the ones who stay calm when others panic. He grew up learning one rule: attention is dangerous, but usefulness is invisible. His parents noticed him only when something broke, so Elias learned to break nothing and fix everything. As an adult, he perfected stillness. He memorized how people moved when they were tired, how their tone changed when they felt safe, how honesty leaked out when no one felt threatened. The first time it happened, there was no plan, no fantasy, no rush, just opportunity. A nurse stranded after hours, a broken elevator, a calm voice saying, "I can help." What Elias felt afterward was not fear or guilt. It was silence, a clean, empty quiet he had never known before. And in that silence, he understood something most people never do. Control doesn't scream. Control whispers. From that moment, Elias didn't hunt, he curated. He waited months between encounters. He chose people who lived between routines, people whose absence could be explained by exhaustion, by stress, by life itself. And every time someone vanished, Elias showed up. He helped, he searched, he listened. Families trusted him because he remembered details, names, timelines, habits. Grief makes people talk, and Elias listened with professional patience. Years passed, no pattern, no signature, just a growing sense that the city itself was holding its breath. Police chased theories that felt safe, coincidences, bad luck, paperwork errors. Elias watched the news quietly, correcting timelines in his head. Then came Lucas. Lucas noticed stillness the way Elias never interrupted, the way his answers arrived before questions finished. Lucas didn't accuse, he observed, and observation is dangerous. That night, Elias broke his own rule. He rushed, and rushing leaves traces. For the first time, doubt entered his mind, and doubt changes posture, speech, rhythm. Security footage appeared, not proof, just presence, and presence became pressure. During interrogation, Elias stayed calm, but calm under pressure looks different. Detectives saw it, the disappointment, not fear, disappointment like a machine finally failing. When asked why he helped search for the missing, Elias paused longer than usual and said, "People tell the truth when they think you're helping them." The city never fully recovered. Lights stayed on, doors locked earlier, trust fractured quietly. Because the most disturbing truth isn't that monsters exist, it's that they learn, they adapt, and sometimes they sit in front of a camera, speaking calmly, waiting for you to listen. People didn't fear Aaron Wells because there was nothing about him to fear. He laughed softly, helped quickly, and never asked for anything in return. That was his power. Aaron worked remotely, which meant no fixed schedule, no daily witnesses, and endless freedom to observe people without being noticed. He learned when voices changed, when routines broke, when loneliness leaked into normal conversations. He never pushed, he waited. People came to him because he felt safe. He listened without interrupting, agreed without judging, and remembered everything: names, habits, roots, the little details most people forget.
The first disappearance didn't raise alarms because nothing looked wrong. Then another, always months apart, always explainable. Stress, travel, burnout. Aaron showed up every time, offering help, sharing posts, comforting families. What nobody noticed was that he never asked questions. He already knew the answers. The pattern appeared when one woman didn't disappear quietly. She fought back just enough to leave confusion behind, not evidence. Confusion. Investigators didn't find violence. They found familiarity. The same calm voice, the same timing, the same invisible presence around moments of isolation. When Aaron was questioned, he smiled politely, answered slowly, and corrected nothing, until one detail slipped. Not a confession, just knowledge he shouldn't have had. That's when detectives realized the truth. The pattern wasn't the victims, it was the listener. Because some criminals don't force entry, they're invited in. And the most dangerous trust is the one that feels effortless.
Before you settle into this story, there is one thing you should understand. Calm is not the absence of danger. Calm is often where danger hides. Everyone described Victor Hale the same way: quiet, respectful, reliable, the kind of man people trusted instinctively. He never interrupted, never raised his voice, never made anyone uncomfortable, and that was exactly why people talked around him so freely. Victor learned early that people reveal everything when they feel safe, so he became safety itself. He listened without reacting, nodded without judging, and stored every detail away. At work, coworkers vented about their lives to him. At night, neighbors asked him to watch their homes when they traveled. Friends handed him secrets without realizing they were giving him something far more valuable than trust. He didn't rush anything. He observed routines, weaknesses, moments when loneliness slipped through normal conversations, and when someone reached that point, Victor was already there, offering help in a calm, steady voice. The first time it happened, there was no violence, no chaos, just control. And afterward, there was no panic, only clarity, a quiet that felt earned. From that moment, control became his anchor. He spaced everything carefully, different times, different places, no patterns, only absence. When people disappeared, Victor was always nearby, asking the right questions, offering comfort, helping search, and listening to grief the way he always had. The mistake came when someone noticed how much Victor remembered, details he shouldn't have known, timelines, habits, private conversations that were never shared publicly. Suspicion grew slowly because nothing about him felt threatening, but calm under pressure has a texture, and investigators began to feel it. During questioning, Victor remained polite, helpful, composed, but something in his eyes betrayed disappointment, not fear, disappointment that his silence had finally been noticed. Some criminals shout, some threaten, some hide in chaos, but the most dangerous ones never change their tone. They sit quietly, listen carefully, and wait for you to feel safe enough to speak. And by the time you realize the calm was never real, it's all.
People think monsters hide in the dark, but the truth is worse. The real ones live in plain sight, smile at you, shake your hand, and help you carry groceries. This story is about a man everyone trusted, a man the police thanked, the neighbors praised, and the media called a hero. Until one tiny mistake revealed a truth so horrifying it changed how an entire city locks its doors to this day. He was the kind of guy you never notice, which is exactly why nobody noticed when people around him started disappearing. At first, it was a coworker who stopped showing up, then a neighbor who moved away suddenly, then a woman who just vanished. No goodbye, no luggage, no trail. And every single time there was a reasonable explanation. People quit, people leave, people start new lives. The world keeps spinning. His name was Daniel Harper, and if you met him, you would forget him within minutes. Mid-30s, polite, calm, always early, always helpful. He worked in logistics, which already sounds boring enough to erase him from memory. He volunteered on weekends, helped search parties when someone went missing, and once even donated blood for a stranger. He was the definition of harmless. Daniel grew up in a quiet town where nothing ever happened. His childhood was normal on paper. Loving parents, average grades, no record, no red flags. But normal does not mean healthy. His father was distant, cold, emotionally unavailable. His mother overprotective and anxious. Daniel learned early that attention only came when you were useful, when you fixed things, when you solved problems, when you made yourself invisible and helpful at the same time. As an adult, he mastered that skill. He blended in perfectly, and that was not an accident. It was practice. Every smile calculated, every word measured, every interaction rehearsed in his head, because Daniel was not empty. He was full of something dark, something hungry, something that needed control. The first time he killed someone, it was not planned, not perfectly at least. It was a coworker named Mark, a loud, arrogant guy who humiliated Daniel in front of others, joked about him, called him weak. One night after work, they drank together. Mark pushed too far, and Daniel snapped. It was fast, messy, shocking even to him, but what happened next changed everything. Instead of panic, Daniel felt calm. Instead of guilt, he felt relief. The noise in his head stopped for the first time in his life. He cleaned the scene, disposed of the body, and went home and slept like a baby. And when he woke up, the world had not ended. No sirens, no police, no punishment, just silence. That silence taught him something terrifying. He could do it again. But Daniel was not reckless. He learned, he studied, crime documentaries, police interviews, interrogation tactics. He understood one thing clearly. Violence gets you caught. Patterns get you caught. Emotions get you caught. So he removed all three. He never rushed, he never chose randomly, and he never acted angry again. His victims were people on the edge of society, people who would not be missed quickly, people whose absence could be explained away. A drifter, a sex worker, an addict, someone without close family. Every interaction looked accidental, every disappearance looked voluntary. He helped them first, offered rides, food, conversation, then slowly isolated them. And the most chilling part was this. Daniel kept trophies, but not physical ones. He collected memories. He revisited the locations in his mind, replayed conversations, replayed the moment of control, the moment someone realized too late that they trusted the wrong person. Years passed, and the city felt uneasy without knowing why. Missing persons reports increased, but nothing connected. No shared location, no shared background, no shared method. The police suspected trafficking gangs, runaways, even clerical errors. Daniel watched the news calmly, nodding along sometimes, even correcting details in his head. He even attended community meetings about safety, spoke softly, suggested better lighting, more patrols, more awareness. He became a familiar face, a reassuring presence, the kind of man you would trust to watch your house while you were away. Then came the mistake. It was small, almost invisible, a single deviation from routine. Daniel met a woman named Emily. She was different. Educated, stable, connected, and she reminded him of someone from his past, someone who once saw through him and rejected him. His control slipped. He rushed. He underestimated her. Emily fought harder than expected. She scratched him deep enough to draw blood, and when he finished and left, he forgot one thing: a single hair trapped under her fingernail. The case still looked cold for months, but this time there was DNA, and technology had improved, databases had grown, and one quiet afternoon, Daniel received a phone call asking him to come in for routine questioning. He smiled, agreed, and even offered to bring coffee. In the interrogation room, he stayed calm, cooperative, helpful, but detectives noticed something strange. He answered before questions finished. He corrected timelines. He filled silence too smoothly, like a man performing a role he had practiced too many times. When the DNA results came back, they didn't just match one case, they connected several scenes. Suddenly, years of disappearances aligned like stars forming a shape too ugly to ignore. The arrest shocked everyone: the helpful volunteer, the quiet neighbor, the man who searched for missing people was the reason they were never found. During the trial, Daniel showed no emotion, no tears, no anger, just a mild curiosity, as if watching someone else's story unfold. Psychologists testified that he didn't kill out of rage or pleasure, but out of control. He wanted to feel significant, powerful, real in a world where he always felt invisible. When asked why he helped search for victims, he said something that still chills investigators today. He said it helped him remember them. Daniel was sentenced to life without parole, and the city changed. Streetlights increased, doors locked earlier, neighbors stopped trusting smiles quite so easily. Because the truth is, monsters don't look like monsters. They look like people you pass every day, people who hold doors open, people who offer help, people who disappear into the background until it's too late. And somewhere, right now, someone is trusting the wrong person without even realizing it.